This is Dr. Deanna Crosby, and you're listening to Bradley's House Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Nothing is impossible, but certain things are highly improbable. Don't think I'll meet your kind again, not in this lifetime.
Hey guys, welcome back. Come on in and make yourself at home, as you should when you're a guest in Bradley's house. I am your co-host, Jarett Orr. She is the executive director of the Knoll Family Foundation, and our host, Ms. Kelly Knoll. Kelly, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Jarett. How are you doing?
If I was any better, I'd be jealous of myself.
Oh, gosh.
It's a little cold. We had that discussion. It's Buffalo, New York is being Buffalo, New York. I don't know. Of course you didn't. But last night they had Monday Night Football here in Buffalo, and there was like 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it's like this big historic thing because the New England Patriots only threw the ball 3 times the entire game.
Whoa, because their fingers were frozen.
Yeah, well, you can't throw a football in 50-mile-an-hour winds. It was bad. My dad actually texted me and said, you know, how's the weather looking? How bad is it? I said, well, I don't know exactly how strong the wind is, but a grill just went by, and it literally did. As he was texting me, a grill went tumbling down the sidewalk. So
oh my gosh.
it was pretty crazy. It's been nuts. But other than that, I'm super excited. The holidays are here now. This is kind of weird because people are going to hear this after Christmas, but like, all right, so this is like future me. You guys had a wonderful Christmas. I saw it. But of course, we're recording a little bit before the holidays, and I'm super excited. Everyone's in a good mood here, and excited for another episode of Bradley's House. And Kelly, I always get excited when we have fun and exciting guests that we get to come on and speak with. And today, that's exactly what we have, right?
Yes, today we have a talented musician, producer, songwriter. You might know him as Michael De La Torre. Here's Mike Dangerously. Mike, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Hi, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Mike, I want to apologize that Kelly didn't mention your marvelous mustache in her introduction. I feel like a man who has a mustache like that, it needs to be recognized. So I'm going to step up early and I'm going to put it out there.
Well,
top 10 I've ever seen in my life.
I appreciate that. You know, it's definitely one of the accolades I'm more proud. So thank you.
So Mike, musician. What bands are you playing in these days? I know a few, but I'm never sure what you're currently doing. So I'll let you tell us.
Gosh, let me get the list out. See if I remember them all. Well, regularly, I'm playing with Jelly of the Month Club.
Yes.
Mike Dangerously and the Royal We.
Ooh.
Zen Robbie.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
And then I do a little trio with a stand-up bassist and an electric guitar player when I'm on the acoustic, and I do kind of like a Johnny Cash trio kind of vibe. And we do like top 40s, but it's all kind of Americana folk kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's called the Cartoon Cowboys.
The Cartoon. Okay, I'm seriously writing this down because I think my dad would love that. So I have to tell you, the memory that comes to mind whenever I think about you was a show that we did for the Knoll Family Foundation at the Wayfair, I believe it was, in Costa Mesa. And this must have been maybe 2 years ago. Anyway,
yeah, I recall.
Yeah. And so I was running the merch table and the show had started and you were on stage and I'm looking around for my dad because I needed to, I don't know, ask him something or make sure he was all set or whatever. And I'm looking everywhere and I can't find him. And so I asked somebody, have you seen my dad? And they're like, yeah, he's right over there. They point to him. He's sitting right in front of the stage watching you. Like, well, there he is. And
wow.
He was just having a blast watching you and hearing you sing. And
that's so cool to hear. I'm flattered.
That's
flattered.
my favorite memory there. But
that was a fun show,
yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we were so stoked to have you on The House That Bradley Built. You did Freeway time in LA County Jail.
Gosh, that was a real treat for me to be a part of things. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you arrive on that song? Why did you choose that one?
Well, honestly, there was only a handful left by the time I was getting to picking a song, and one of my all-time favorites happened to be on the list. And it was like, as soon as I saw the list, that one caught my eye. I don't think I even read all the names. So I was like, that one.
Good choice.
And I always loved it because it's got so many neat key changes, and you know, I would love anything blues. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Super bluesy. You can really get into it.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly. So I don't know if I should put our friends Paul and Yee on the spot here, but I feel like Mike is like the 37th musician that was like, well, they were only down to a handful of songs when I got the list.
Oh no!
And I just don't know. Somebody had to get a fat list to choose from, but we haven't heard. We have every time Kelly asks, "How'd you come up to that song?" Everyone's like, "Well, honestly, there was only a few songs left," and I'm like, "How come nobody's been like, well, there was 42 songs to choose from?" And I think there was a little something going on there. I think
initially. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean it so much as in scarcity. I just meant a lot of the hits, which there were so many, had already been taken. You know what I mean? Obviously. So
when we first started, the project, there was no thought that it was going to get this big. And so it was kind of like, oh, hey, you know, would you do this song and you do this song? And then after a while, there were so many people that wanted to do it that then it was just like, okay, well, we just want one of each song. So here's what's left. And then it got to be, well, then there were multiples of the songs because there weren't that many left. I think we counted and there were only like maybe 6 or 7 songs in the entire Sublime catalog that didn't get done. So it kind of grew and took on a life of its own. And
God, there's so many good ones on there. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Lots to choose from.
One artist I'd never heard of and was just, floored me. Joe Sambo.
Oh, right.
Joe Sambo,
yeah.
Joe Sambo. Wow.
Did a great job.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. We had him as a guest on the show, actually.
Nice.
He was a lot of fun to talk to. That one
I watched his videos. He looks like a fun guy.
Yeah, he is. He was in town and he messaged me and he was in Long Beach. And my dad happened to be home at the time. So anyway, he stopped by my dad's place and he started playing 5446 and Dad was like, man, this guy's really good. So next thing I know, he's doing 5446 on the album. So that's the secret there. Not that anybody musicians should sit outside my dad's house and just play. I don't think that's going to get them anywhere. But it worked for Joe, and he's such a nice guy. We were stoked to have him on there too.
That's great.
So for people who don't know, explain a little bit about Jelly of the Month Club.
Wow.
How it started, and then what the whole purpose is, and you know, really what your mission is now.
Well, in a nutshell, and it's been such a really fun journey, you know. Started in 2013. Dr. Todd and Bert Susanka and Bud were all on the Sublime with Rome and Ziggins tour. And they had the idea that they should, hey, maybe we should do some music for families and just some family friendly stuff, but still kind of do our thing, you know? And excuse me, Todd had gotten in touch with me because I had just put out Jungle Book's I Want to Be Like You from the Disney movie.
Yes, I've heard it. So good.
With Zen Robbie.
Yeah.
And Todd had just played on Lovely in the Middle, which was kind of my, you know, it was he came and played on a bunch of, played sax on a bunch of the songs. So he hit me up saying, hey, me and Bert and Bud want to put together this band. And right away, I'm like, who's in the band? Yeah. Oh, yes, whatever you're doing, count me in, you know?
Quite a super
And so, yeah. And so it just started with the concept of wanting to put together fun and inspiring and entertaining songs that are like PG, you know?
Yeah.
They're still fun, like ska and big band swing and in style, but all the messages are, you know, life lessons. Be good to one another, kindness, making friends, teamwork, that sort of thing. And it's just grown into what started as like a side thing and playing schools, you know, once every couple of weeks, has now turned into this. That's the main act that keeps me the busiest. We have so many things in the fire with Jelly. I'm so excited about.
Let me just tell you that in my home, a staple, especially this time of year, is our good friend Melvin Ebenezer Aloysius Rosenberg the Fourth. My
good man.
Yeah. The Selfish Elf is a staple in my home, and it has been for several years. I've spoken about this on my other podcast. The Elf on the Shelf is one of my biggest pains in the ass of the entire year. I start to get anxiety about the Elf on the Shelf in like August. It'll be August 15th, and I'll be like, oh my God, the month of December is going to come, and every single night I have to have a new creative thing for this elf to do. And my kids wake up and they like look at it, and it's like got to be really cool. And if it's not, they're kind of like, all right.
I hear more parents say that about it. I gotta tell you.
But your and your video, which is available on YouTube, I suggest to every parent, everybody should check it out, but especially if you're a parent, you're doing the elf gig. The song in the video, yeah, it really puts into perspective. Like my kids watch it and they remember, they're like, man, this fucking elf is keeping an eye on me, and it's totally back to Santa if I don't do what I'm supposed to do here. So I just, you know, you said that it's something that relates to it, and it turns out that it's an awesome song and an awesome tune.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, it's a staple. And in fact, it was on like 2 days ago. It's like right now it's in our YouTube, like videos that you've previously watched because it gets played so much. So I just, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for helping me threaten my children with this elf. And I'm like,
it's my pleasure.
I'm like, listen, guys, it's not me, but if this elf goes back and reports to Santa that you guys are being dicks, well,
no present for you.
Yeah, nothing I can do about it.
That's great. That's great.
I think any parent can appreciate music that they can listen to with their kids that doesn't drive them crazy.
That was the number one goal.
Yeah.
That was the number one goal. You nailed it.
Because some of that stuff just is so insipid, and I couldn't do it when my kids were little. They grew up listening to what I listened to, for better or for worse.
It's like, you know, a lot of us are dads. Myself, not personally, but a lot of us are dads, and they're like never hesitant to hide something from their kids and be like, well, I'm sorry, we lost the blah, blah, blah CD, you know what I mean? And we lost the Frozen soundtrack or something like that, you know? And so we get something that mom and dad can get into. They're the ones that are really calling the shots. And if it's got a good message, you know, then the kids are, you know, getting good moral lessons, little morsels here and there.
It's a win-win.
And, you know, it's a win-win. Yeah, exactly. Plus, we get to sing silly songs and not take ourselves seriously. That's like the most fun. If there's a song about waffles and shit.
Yeah. my first thought was, you know, you guys go and you perform for these kids, and that's awesome and all, but like, dude, you do realize that you are like the villain from every cartoon I've ever watched in my entire childhood. That's what you look like.
Some of us are just misunderstood.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's like Jessica Rabbit said, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah.
You're just kind of twirling your mustache as you're running away with the bags full of money. All the people in the town are like, shit, he got us.
You can trust me.
Yeah. I definitely, that's one of the things that I thought about for sure. But yeah, it really is. It's cool. And it's great to be able to have music that I can play with my kids, like Kelly said, and it not drive you nuts, and, you know, not exposing your kids to to that kind of, like Cocomelon is the devil. I don't care. We've talked about it on this show before, but like that stuff. So to have stuff like jelly is really cool. And I hope everybody that's listening, I'm sure everybody already knows who you guys are, but if not, I hope that they check you guys out, because it's really awesome.
Thank you so much. It's felt so great to be a part of something that has such a spirit behind it and what it stands for. And we have a lot of really exciting things cooking with Jelly. From we're going to be back at Knott's back in February. We have
you guys do like a regular residency there, don't you?
Yeah, this will be the 4th one we've done at Knott's Berry Farm. We did one in Minnesota. We did a run for 6 weeks in Valley Fair. But yeah, this will be our 4th year at Knott's, and it's going to be so fun. It's such a rad show. Talk about a show for the parents, especially.
Yeah.
It's called Woodstock's Music Festival.
Nice.
And it's billed as a rock concert. So there's the big announcement. They bring out the band. We come out. We do a Jelly song, and then in between songs, Snoopy comes out. I don't want to give away too much, but he comes out as different rock stars. So Snoopy comes out dressed as Freddie Mercury, and we do a Queen song. And then he comes out as Prince, and we do a Prince song.
That is fabulous.
And there's some modern stuff as well. And it's slapstick. There's gags and little skits in between the songs. And the kids have a blast. The parents have a good time. I mean, it's an amazing show. It's the funnest thing I've ever been a part of. I'm so excited to be back.
Can I just say, Mike, that right there, sickest name drop in the history of Bradley's House podcast. I mean, like, we've had some awesome musicians who have played with some other awesome musicians, but like Snoopy?
Yeah.
You just killed it. No, you just killed it.
So you mean I'm the first one to be on the show that's beaten Charlie Brown at a guitar battle?
Yes, I think you are.
Yeah, that's
toes, dropping names.
All right. Well, here's the deal. Like, maybe we may have had a few guests that at some point in their mind, in their life, was having a guitar battle with Charlie Brown. But it didn't really happen. So,
well, Charlie's always the heel, so I can't really take any credit. He would have lost to anybody, But
that's true.
I did win.
Where'd the name come from?
Oh my gosh!
Are you serious, Clark?
This is great, and Jarett, you'll appreciate this because you
Vacation?
are a Vacation fan. Yes.
Oh.
So check this out. This is the first or second time meeting, and it's me, Todd, and Bert, and we're at Todd's house. And Todd and Bert are going back and forth, and we're all kicking band names around, and all of them are just like, just awful. And I gotta admit,
give us a few. Do you remember?
Whew. No, I think they're better forgotten. But so Bert starts getting philosophical about what a band name needs to be, what it needs to offer, what it needs to stand for. He said, and he's going on about how not only does it need to represent us, but it needs to be fun every time. It needs to be the gift that keeps on giving, like the Jelly of the Month Club. A band name needs to da-da-da-da. And he keeps talking. He keeps talking. And I'm like, whoa, time out. And he's still talking, and him and Todd are locked in. I'm like, yo, hey, guys, what did you just say, Bert? And they still don't hear me. And I'm like, hey, did you just say Jelly of the Month Club? And everyone just had me, Todd, Bert looked at one another, and we were like, holy cannoli, did we just land on the money? Oh my, yeah, it's just a
great story.
They almost went right past it. And me as like the guy pacing back and forth, shooting all these shit band names at them. And they're like, no. And I'm trying to sell clever, good ideas to Bert Suzanka. It's like, that's a tough audience, Todd too,
Yeah.
As you're telling the story, I can't help but think that the guy that's giving the pep talk about how important and meaningful the band name needs to be is the guy who's in the Ziggins.
Right?
Dude,
Yeah. What's a Ziggin?
What? Dude, Bert is the man.
Oh yeah, I love Bert. He's a great guy.
Yeah. We really magooed our way into that one.
And you've had different people.
Gosh, we've had so many talented people, and just come in and be a part of our journey at different parts, and be either in the live support role or in the studio support role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had on drums, we've had Bud Gaw, Adrian Young from No Doubt. He's the one who plays on Shelf of Self.
Nice.
Marshall Goodman. Wow, talk about an amazing drummer. And then our current guy, who's I've been playing with Zen Robbie for over a decade, Scott Wittenberg.
Nice.
Who is like, graduated MI, top of his class. So we have amazing drummers, and that's just the drum department. You know what I mean? Then you talk about the different songwriters that have come in and played. Bert Ziggin, Angelo from Fishbone came in and did a song with me, and called Peanut Butter Jellyfish Sandwich. Me and the guys filmed this video at a park that, oh my gosh, it's the silliest thing ever, but just had a blast. I mean, there's so many talented songwriters in the band. There's so many talented musicians in the band. And, there have been 5 drummers, 3 bassists, 3 keys, and a partridge in a pear tree. But every time we do a record, we're sending that out to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a big club. You know what I mean? And we have the core 5 that are the live act. And it's just such a pleasure to be a part of.
That's awesome. And anybody who wants to check out what you guys are doing, the website is actually jellyofthemonthclub.com, right?
Yep, jellyofthemonthclub.com.
That's amazing that you guys were able to score that, because there are actually Jelly of the Month clubs. For people who don't realize that, that's a real thing.
We waited 5 years into our career before that was available.
Really?
Yeah, we checked one day, and it was like, oh my God, 5 years later, it's open. Let's grab it.
That's fabulous. Yeah, I was very impressed to see you guys had that. So what's coming up next for you guys? What do you have planned for the new year?
All Woodstock Music Festival at Knott's Berry Farm starting January 22nd. And that's every Saturday and Sunday, January 22nd through March 6th. And show times are 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Right on. God, that sounds so cool. I would love to check that out sometime.
And
I'll have to find some kids to take.
What we have coming up right concurrently with Woodstock is something I'm really excited to talk about. And this is actually the first time I posted about it today. I haven't talked about it in any interviews or anything.
It's a scoop.
Exclusive scoop.
We're gonna add in some cool Channel 6 news music right now, breaking news. Yeah,
just in. So during the pandemic, we had a lot of time on our hands, as did a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we tried to make the best use of it by staying creative and trying different things. We had a kind of half-ass hookup for a television network, and things didn't quite pan out. But long story short, me and my bass player, James, from Jelly of the Month Club, James Key, he's an amazing bass player and just a gem of a guy. He learns Adobe Animate and a couple other animation programs, and I learned Final Cut, and we start making cartoons out of our little cartoon versions of Jelly of the Month Club. So we put the show together. We think it's hilarious. It's a variety show, and we are shopping it. Now, while we're shopping it, me and James have an idea, and that's to put together a music school for kids, self-guided courses taught by our cartoon avatars.
Oh.
So this
a great
is
idea.
So we're following the national standards in music education, what kids will be getting taught at school, but we're doing it through our cartoon characters. And it's basically like a dozen music videos teaching rhythm, tempo, whole notes, half notes, your do, re, mi scales. And it's all custom Jelly songs teaching all these concepts.
That's
And
outstanding.
we are just so beyond excited. It's called the Jelly of the Month Club Music Academy.
And how will this get out to people? Is this going to be like through schools or?
This will be a website that families can sign up their kids through. I believe I'm imagine it will be jellyofthemonthclubmusicacademy.com. That's the goal.
A long URL.
Let me write that down. Maybe it'll be jma.com.
There we go.
Is JMA available?
I'm just saying I've learned the value of a short URL because we have the NoelFamilyFoundation.org and it doesn't even fit on a business card.
jma.edu.
There you go.
Ooh.
Available.
I like it.
Make that jma.edu.
I love that. Well, make sure
we're
to keep
so
us
excited
posted on
about
that.
it. Absolutely.
That's really cool.
And
awesome.
it's really fun because we're all so excited about a project that is what we feel is really helping the Jelly legacy. Now we're trying to write stuff that's explicitly educational, and that's a bunch of fun little catchy ditty songs, and then the education is the byproduct because the kids are just having fun listening to the music.
Yeah, reminds me of Schoolhouse Rock.
Bingo.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's the only reason I passed my senior year government class, because when we were kids, we watched Schoolhouse Rock. And so when we had to memorize the preamble to the Constitution, and that's the last thing you want to do when you're a senior in high school. You're busy doing 42 other things. Nobody wants to have to memorize something long like that. I'm like, no problem. And I just sing it in my head and I got it.
Is that the We the People?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Perfect union. Yeah, it's a great one. There's so many good ones. I wish they would bring those back. They probably wouldn't really translate now as far as the animation and all that, but what a great concept.
Now we did our own Do a Deer, but we're doing it called, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it's over a trap beat. And we do our own little limerick for Do Re Mi. And it's very modernized. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So very
I'm excited about this project. This sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, there's no way that you could monitor if parents are signing up their kids and then taking the lessons, right?
Taking them themselves. Trust me, it's for my kids.
No joke. I had a friend
Not that anyone
over here. Then he said the same thing. He's like, I would take this class.
That's fun. It really does.
It's a lot of fun. It's a self-guided interactive course. So James developed this app that has a drum set on it that you tap and it, but it's cute. It's got a little face on it and everything. It's got a set of bells for Do Re Mi. It's got a xylophone, a piano, and they play along, and it instructs you how to play along, almost like a very elementary Guitar Hero kind of thing. But it's, the first song's gypsy jazz swing. The next song is like 80s style, one drop ska. The next song is a trap beat. The next song is, it's like all over the map, and it's just really exciting stuff.
That is so cool. Now you've done some producing too, right?
Yeah. Gosh, in this industry, you got to have a lot of irons in the fire. Am I right?
So true. Tell us about some of your production work.
All right. Well, gosh, this year I've had a lot of fun with several acts. Started off really strong with the Resonators. Do you know those guys?
I do. I know the music. I don't know that I've ever met them, but I like the music.
They are just a funny group of guys. It was such a pleasure working with them. We cranked out a single. It was like the first week in January. So it was a great start to the year.
Yeah.
Mostly, I did one with Garrett Lee Robinson. He was an artist out of the South Bay.
Mm-hmm.
He's got kind of like almost like a Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. A little bit of social distortion, but a little bit more of the Americana vibe.
Yeah.
and real raspy voice. It's really good stuff. I'm really pumped on the single we did. And currently I'm working with an artist called Sarah Baldwin. It's I think our fourth endeavor together. We did a single, a full length, an EP, and now we're doing an acoustic record.
Wow.
She's a machine. She just writes.
Is she out of Southern California also?
Yeah, Sarah Baldwin.
Okay.
It's really great music. It's kind of a bit of a nod back to 90s era of grunge, metal, a little bit of Nine Inch Nails, Deftones.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of Chevelle. And yeah, she's just the best. So much fun to work with. Great work ethic. I love her songs. We have similar taste in, guitar stuff, and I get to do a bunch of metal stuff I haven't done in a while. It's a lot of fun to do. She's like, "Can you shred over this?" Like, really? Like more? It's like, yeah, just wank.
Yes, I can.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Now, did you grow up in Southern California?
Yeah. I grew up just up to 605 in Cerritos, right off the 91 605.
Yeah. Right on. And did you grow up playing music, or did that come later?
My parents always had me in like piano classes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in third grade, I played the trumpet in marching band.
Mm-hmm.
I was always last chair, but I had a lot of friends that were in the trumpet section. So I would just kind of hang out and pretend to play. My freshman year, me and my buddy, that was like a one school I was at for that year. The band leader would test you to see who was first chair through who was last chair. Yeah. And me and my good buddy we were always competing to see who could be last chair. And so it wasn't really a passion, but I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And right around 6th, 7th grade, all of a sudden, Dookie. And it was like, what the hell is this? And then the whole 90s eruption of awesome music happened to me. That was happening. I just was so young, I didn't really know about a lot of it. And then I got into guitar, probably it wasn't until like 7th grade, I'd say, 8th grade. But then that was the front seat, that was it.
And then what kind of music were you playing? The same stuff you were listening to?
Metal.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I had a feeling.
Pantera.
Nice.
Pantera. Just
nice.
The nastiest, shreddiest, grooviest. To me, Pantera was the epitome of just tough ass music, because not only was it so just brutally savage, but it grooved just mercilessly. It had such groove, it was like Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen in a new metal incarnation with Dimebag and Vinnie Paul. And holy shit, I never heard anything like it. So after a couple of years with Green Day and Pennywise, and I liked a lot of Dead Kennedys, and of course Sublime, and a couple of the other local bands, RX Bandits. I used to go watch them a lot, and they were kind of local dudes that would play at this church in Artesia called Rosewood. And Matt's my neighbor. I bump into him all the time now. It's great, but
nice.
And then after a couple of years with those kind of bands, as soon as I met Pantera, it was like strictly Pantera, Coors Light, and my motorcycle. That was it.
You're speaking right to our producer Anna right now. She's a huge fan of metal, so I'm sure she's loving this.
She's got a Pantera tattoo.
Yeah.
First of all, I have 2 Pantera tattoos. Thank you very much.
Ooh. She is.
Love it.
I knew she couldn't hold out for long.
Love it.
Right on. So, what about Zen Robbie? Are you guys still doing stuff? Do you have any new stuff coming up?
Excuse me. We have so much on the back burner with Zen that's like almost complete. Poor Timmy had a slight health issue with his eye. His retina was starting to become detached. So they reattached it and everything was all good. And he sneezed and it became reattached again. And that's just after like,
oh my
this
gosh.
was like over a year. And so it was very, very rough. You know, my poor brother, you know, right
That's
at the beginning.
Scary.
Yeah, it sucked. And it was right at the beginning of quarantine, right? The lockdown. So it's like, shit. So with Zen, we have a couple live things that we've done in the studio that we're planning to drop.
Oh, nice.
And a new, talk about metal. It's like Pantera meets Motorhead single that we're going to drop as well.
I guarantee Anna will be listening to that.
Yeah.
She's a huge fan. And for people who want to check out Zen Robbie, it's just zenrobbie.com, right? Zenrobbi.
That's it. Zenrobbi.
And where did that name come from?
My goodness. You know, this is a pretty wild story. Many, many moons ago, when we were first starting out, we were kind of under the wing of a very famous and amazing producer named Bob Ezrin. Now, Bob did Pink Floyd's The Wall, Kiss Destroyer. The list goes on and on and on. So his son, Dave, and his partner, Scott Rickett, had an independent record label called Soul Surfer Records. Soul Surfer signed Zen Robbie back in 2006, I want to say.
Wow.
And at the time, Bob had put us into the Village Recorder, this amazing studio, my first time in a real big studio, and said, hey, make a record. By the way, I hate your band name. Get that sorted before we start shopping. You know what I mean? And so we were like, oh boy, well, we've not had the best of luck with band names. We've changed it like 3 times by this point. It was Tall Boys and Fat Walk and something else stupid. And by this point, we're like, oh my God, let's call the band Bob Ezrin. Like, you know, and you know, who cares? Let's just name it something so we can, you know, it was kind of holding it up. We were almost done with the record and we wanted to go and shop. Yeah. So at the time, one of our roadies, clever fella, clever enough, says, hey, why don't you guys take Bob Ezrin's name and scramble the letters, see what you come up with?
Oh my God.
We were like, well, that's a hell of an idea. That's a hell of an idea. More we thought about, more we loved it. We were like, his name was Stu. We're like, Stu, I like the cut of your jib. That's exactly what we're going to do, Stu. So we take the letters, we scramble it up. I get Oz, Beneber, and, you know, Boner something. And so Boner Biz. And, and
how is it not Boner Biz? What is
probably would have gotten way more shows, right? No, but so that's why there's no E at the end of Zen Robbie.
Right.
And you know what? We didn't tell anybody that for almost 10 years. We would make up different stories for different interviews. I think this is the first or second time maybe I've given the real story.
Oh, well, thank you.
You heard it here, folks.
Oh, you think Stu's not telling that story to close deals at the bar at night? Come on.
Right?
Oh, that's a good one. That's
so, yeah.
Well,
I can't.
Cowboys,
let's see
where
here.
Where did that one come from?
Well, we needed a band name. I started doing, you know, getting calls for so many kinds of random gigs. I do so many gigs that are everything from 2-year-olds' birthday parties to like concerts to nightclubs to theme parks to resorts to, I mean, geez, bat mitzvahs. I play your bris. You need me like an animal, you know, graduation from puppy college. You know, I play every gig you can imagine. You know, I don't do human sacrifices.
Good.
I did. It's don't anymore. Yeah, but pretty much anything. And so I have to do all these different incarnations of my show. So with Zen Robbie, we go and play. You know, we get an hour set. They're like, all right, there's going to be, like at a festival, or we're opening at a nightclub, or we're, whatever. We play 45 minutes, a bunch of dancey originals. If we're doing a lounge and it's like, everyone's in suits and it's an upscale spot, we're doing a bunch of parlor jazz,
Mm-hmm.
If we're doing a 2-year-old's birthday party, we're singing about Bigfoot and waffles and making friends at school, So all these different acts, they need a name, and so we're just having fun making shit up.
Love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with us. And again,
Absolutely.
Thank you for being on the album. I love your cover of Freeway Time in LA County Jail. And we will end the show with that. We'll also make sure to put all the links in the show description so people can find Jelly of the Month Club and Zen Robbie. Is there anything else we're missing?
No, I mean, if you don't want to do all the links, you can go to micdangerously.com and everything's on there.
Oh, good to know. All right. Well, we'll make sure to throw that one in too. Well, thank you so much, Mike. It's been lovely talking with you. And I hope to see you soon. I mean, we're both in Southern California, so I'm sure we're bound to cross paths soon.
Well, I look forward to it.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.
You guys take good care. Thanks again for having me.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, Kelly, I got to tell you, for somebody who has a cartoon villain mustache and a movie villain name like Mike Dangerously, he couldn't have been any of a nicer and cooler guy.
Isn't he great? And how awesome is that they're doing that stuff at Knott's Berry Farm and just so many great things. I'm really stoked for him.
Yeah, he had the biggest name drop ever in the history of our podcast on here. So that was, that's pretty sweet. So for those of you who aren't familiar, go ahead and check him out. Give him a follow. Anna will include all the links to find Mike and all the things that he has. Well, as many of the things as we can include that he has going on. I don't know how much room we have for links in this show because the guy's got a lot going on, but we'll make sure you guys get hooked up. Yeah, we'll make sure you guys get hooked up with him by the links down below. And speaking of a lot going on, Kelly, for weeks we've been hinting about some stuff that's been going on behind the scenes with the Knoll Family Foundation. Let's catch everybody up. What's going on?
I'm so excited to announce that we're going to be doing a pre-party the day before Cali Vibes. It's going to be in Long Beach at Alex's Bar. We're calling it Long Beach Legends and Legacies. That's Thursday, February 3rd at 8 o'clock. Jarett, why don't you tell them who's playing?
Well, I would be delighted to, because with a name like Legends and Legacies, there's a lot to live up to there. But we have the amazing and incredibly talented Ras One is going to be out at the show. We are going to have the very talented and one of my favorite bands, Perro Bravo, out at the show. Can we even have a show that doesn't include one of Miguel's outfits? Right? I
hope we never do. I hope we never do. Yeah.
You have to.
Love him.
Of course, Perro Bravo will be there. One that I'm excited about, Spray Allen. We've had Eric on the podcast, talked a little bit about how Spray Allen got started, and they were gracious enough to come out and play the event. And Kelly, why don't you tell everybody the one that I'm probably the most excited about, because it's a first time ever in Long Beach.
I'm first time ever, yes, anywhere, but it's going to be really awesome. My nephew, Brad's son, Jacob, and Billy Wilson, Eric's son, are going to get together and play some Sublime music for us. So that's going to be really, really special.
God, as this has been coming together and it was starting to look more and more like it was going to happen, I haven't been able to sleep right. I'm so excited about this. So for those of you that are listening, there are limited tickets available, but they are available at alexsbar.com. And I'll go ahead and include a link in the description of this as well, so you guys can pick up those tickets. But if you're in town for Cali Vibes, you're looking for something fun to do on Thursday night. If you're already a local and you're just looking for an epic show that all proceeds are going to go to the Knoll Family Foundation to help getting Bradley's house up and open, this is like I can't miss. I mean, I don't know if it gets any more legends and legacies of Long Beach than the folks that the Knoll Family Foundation have lined up on this bill.
Absolutely. And we're so grateful to Alex's Bar for hosting us there. They're very graciously giving us 100% of the door. So all of that is going to go directly towards getting Bradley's house open. So thanks so much, Alex.
Absolutely. So for those locals who, when you go on there and you're picking up tickets, check out some of the other upcoming shows. They've always got stuff going on. So Alex is an awesome place there in Long Beach, and I am so looking forward to it. So Thursday night, we're out Long Beach Legends and Legacies, and then boom, Friday we're right in the mix, right?
That's right. Friday, February 4th through Sunday the 6th, we'll be at Cali Vibes down in Long Beach at Marina Green Park. It's going to be a great weekend.
Oh, gosh, I'm so excited. So that's what's going on with the Knoll Family Foundation. Of course, guys, we put this podcast on so we can entertain you guys, so we can help you guys with whatever it is that you might be going through. Check out a cool show, and of course, to raise funds for the Knoll Family Foundation and to get Bradley's house up and open. And Anna will go ahead and share the link tree in the description here. You guys can visit the knollfamilyfoundation.org, check out some of the merch, read a little bit more about the mission, a lot of neat information on there. So for those of you that have just been checking out the podcast, of course, we certainly appreciate that. But there's a method to our madness, and it's to help get Bradley's house up and open. So go ahead and click the link tree. There's tons of different ways that you guys can get included, including picking up merch or stopping by the booth at Cali Vibes and picking up a t-shirt or a hat, or who knows what's going on with merch right now. We got new socks, right?
We do have new socks, and we're also going to have a brand new limited edition t-shirt that we'll have at Cali Vibes. So definitely, if you're at the show, make sure to stop by the booth and grab one of those.
Oh, I'm so excited. Guys, thank you so much. Now, Kelly, each week we end everybody with a incredible song, and it's usually from the compilation The House That Bradley Built from our friends over at law-records.com. Today's pretty much a no-brainer what we're playing, right?
It absolutely is. And I do want to say that we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the release of the deluxe edition. This Saturday, January 15th, it will have been 1 year since Law Records released that amazing compilation. We're so grateful to them for everything they've done, and everyone who's bought the album over the past year. It's just been fantastic. And we will have some special pins that we're releasing on our website, the knollfamilyfoundation.org, in honor of that. And those will release on Saturday, January 15th. So we're going to close out the show today with an awesome cover by Mike Dangerously of Freeway Time in LA County Jail.
Guys, thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Jarett, or she's Kelly Noel. You don't have to go home, but it's time to leave Bradley's house.
On the freeway in the county, the sun don't shine. I feel a batty man outside my cell. Deputies creep, and in this cell, all I do is sleep. Man, I dream that I'm free. And I'm back on the reef where I throw my net out into the sea. All the fine liners come swimming to me. They hold me and they promise me things. And when the tide's high, cry like a little baby. Don't give me no right kind of loving, no Sunday morning. Don't want no puppy loving, honey. You owe me, babe, got that new style. Oh, me, babe, I got that new style. Yeah. A hungry dog is an angry dog. An angry dog's just a hungry dog. I feel like rocking, I will rock with you. I'm alive, gotta contact home. Gotta contact my baby girl. But I would never could get up. Why does it have to be so damn tough? With my essays and the essays, yes, they steady on the floor. I'll be damned if a man with a shank in his hand make me feel a batty man. And I know